Hello everyone, I'm Aaron Pletz from DataStax. I'm going to show you how to build a simple Airbyte cloud data pipeline, tie it to DataStax Astra DB, and then build a GenAI Python application to pull data from it. Let's go. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a new database. I'm going to go to astra.datastax.com. Well, I'm just going to click Sign In with Google. I will go ahead and click Create a Database. And for this example, I'm going to need a serverless vector database. So I can just say like Aaron's DB, and that should be fine. I'm going to pick Google Cloud, and I'm going to say US East 1, and then I'm going to say Create. Okay, once that process is completed and your database comes up, you'll be taken to this screen, which gives you your API endpoint. That is the first thing I'm going to want to grab. So I'm going to click this little copy button here. And I'm going to make sure that that's noted. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to say generate token. Let me just copy that and paste that over there. All right, we're done for now. Next, I'm going to go to airbyte.com. So I'm going to click on Try It Free. And I'll create a new account with Google. All right, so then I am taken to my Airbyte dashboard. The first thing I'm going to do here is create a new source. And what I'm going to do here, I've always been a bit of a fan of the XKCD comics. And wouldn't you know it, Airbyte has an XKCD data source. So really, you just have to have a name for it. XKCD will do fine. And then you can just say set up source. There we go. All right, so we have our source. Now we could go ahead and create a connection, but for a connection, you need to have both a source and a destination, although I'm pretty sure that Airbyte allows you to create a source on the fly. So you know what? We actually will click this Create a Connection button. Now, for a destination, I'm going to click on this AstraDB community destination. This is the one that's from DataStax. You can see we have our destination name of AstraDB. So for a chunk size, we should probably have 512. We're going to want to put a little bit of thought into the fields that we store as metadata. So in particular, I'm going to say title, and I'm going to say IMG for image, and I'm going to say alt. Those are the three fields that we're going to store. Now, text fields to embed. Basically, this is what we're going to use to create our vector embedding. So in this case, I'm just going to say we want the title for that, and that should be good. So for our embedding provider, we have a couple of options here, but I'm going to pick OpenAI. So I'm going to paste my OpenAI key right there. For my AstraDB application token, I'm going to grab the one that I created with database administrator permissions and copied that off. And then I'm also going to grab the endpoint from the new database that I created. Our AstraDB key space, also known as a namespace, is going to be default key space. That's what we're going to use for that. And then for an AstraDB collection, we'll just say Airbyte. That should be fine. So now I'll click Set Up Destination. Okay, now that we have our source and our destination all set up and a part of our connection, we can go ahead and set up how we want our data pipeline to behave. And then if I scroll all the way down, I have this button for Set Up Connection. So I'll click that. Okay, and you can see with the connection set up, it is now automatically doing the first data sync. Okay, so as you can see, it looks like our stream is fully synchronized. So if this worked, I should be able to look at my Airbyte collection inside of AstraDB and see that there are records in there. And if you see that I click on the Data Explorer here, it goes to default key space, my Airbyte collection, and oh, look at that. I have 1,000+ records. You'll also notice that it has created the vector embeddings with 1,536 dimensions. Yeah, look at this. So we have data in here. Check that out. So I can scroll over, and you can see the the titles of some of the comics. You can see the URLs of some of the comics. So I think we're okay here. So the next thing we have here, we have a little collab notebook that we've cooked up. So let's just walk through this. So if I click on Run here, it'll go ahead and do a pip install of RagStack AI and Matplotlib. Okay, so you can see that completed. Let's go ahead and run our imports here. Yep, there we go, all good. And run this little code snippet. We'll paste our token in and be all good there. I will run this block of code and paste in my endpoint, and that should be all okay. I'm going to want to grab my OpenAI API key. So let me go ahead and run that code, paste that in. That's all good. Okay, the next thing we're doing is we're instantiating our OpenAI embedding model. So let's go ahead and do that. And again, this is going to default to that text embedding ADA02 model. Connecting to AstraDB, now that we've set the token, the endpoint, and the key space name and the collection name, this should connect up just fine. And it does. Here, I'm going to run this code snippet. It's going to say, enter your query. Kepler is the default. There actually is an XKCD comic named Kepler. So I'm going to say orbital mechanics, just like that. All right. So the first thing that our code is going to do is it's going to take our query of orbital mechanics and it's going to create a vector just for that. And you can see it prints out our query, and this is the 1,536 dimensional vector that was generated by the text string of orbital mechanics. All right, so if I run that, that runs out to AstraDB, goes ahead, pulls back a similarity search, returns the most similar result, which is this comic titled Orbital Mechanics. All right, so the last thing to do is we can use the Matplotlib to go ahead and display that down here. So if I run that block, bam, there is our Orbital Mechanics comic. All right, for next steps, go ahead and check out our GitHub repository for this project. Of course, if you want to have a closer look at DataStax AstraDB and our vector database offering, head out to astra.datastax.com. And if you want to learn more about Airbyte and building, top-notch cloud-based data pipelines, have a look at www.airbyte.com. Thank you all for watching, and have a great day.